So, Christina, which one would you like to start with today?
Well, I have to start with the anxious attachment style because it is so common. I mean, I don't really know statistically, which one is more popular, but it's definitely the one that I am noticing a lot when, I work with single people who are trying to date, go out there, and actually they start feeling like just it's just taking way too much for them to be there. And anxious style means that we are so insecure, we're so insecure about ourselves. We need that validation from everyone else, but ourselves. It's almost like what we're telling ourselves is just not enough. We constantly need to rely on someone else. And in a relationship, it looks like we become quite codependent on someone else, and uh, basically being fearful, to really take it to the next level or even do something without our partner. Is it any tip that you have about this attachment style, Olga?
Absolutely. What I would like to suggest is obviously working on yourself because whilst you are having this anxious attachment style, it means you'll be constantly anxious, you'll be constantly nervous, constantly stressed, you'll be afraid of being abandoned and left behind and all that and cheated on and you name it. This is not healthy. So my tip for
Mm.
those who realize that do have anxious attachment style is learn how to find certainty within yourself. Learn how to find love within yourself. Learn how to seek validation within yourself. Okay, because you
Mm.
can change one partner to another, you can go from one relationship to another. But if you're still within this anxious attachment style, that means you'll be constantly clinging on to somebody else. This is not healthy for them, and this is not healthy for you. Okay, and
Mm.
also you'll be struggling to trust because you got to be anxious. You got to be constantly worried about maybe they will cheat, maybe they'll walk away, maybe something will happen to your relationship, maybe this, maybe that. Okay, this is not healthy, right? So my
Mm.
suggestion is work on yourself. Find certainty, find validation, find trust within yourself. I find love within yourself because once you will shift from anxious to a healthier you will have healthier relationships because whilst you are being anxious with an anxious attachment style, you will attract people who will complement you. They will give
Mm.
you drama. They will give you worries. They will give you circumstances and events. Okay. So that's why it's not healthy for so many reasons for you to remain with an anxious attachment style. And what about you,
Mm.
Christine? Do you have any tips or anything to say about anxious style?
Yeah, I think we really, when it comes to an attachment style, you're gonna find yourself, getting well attached to someone very quick. It's almost like you feel that you need them in your life, and without them being there, you're just gonna absolutely die. So, reminding yourself, acknowledge what is great about you, acknowledging, what makes you a high value partner will definitely support you in showing up in a completely different way. But definitely, as Olga said, you gotta work on what's creating that anxious attachment style. And just what I would like to also remind you is that you don't, just because you have, this attachment style doesn't mean you can't change it. And the more work you do on yourself, the more you're going to move towards a secure attachment style. But you do have to really identify what are the root causes that are making you feel anxious. But let's just talk a little bit about the avoidant attachment style because this is another very popular one that comes. And how is that even looking like in a relationship, Olga?
This is really interesting one because avoidant can be also called fearful, just to give you an idea, because some people call it differently or disorganized. Okay, there are different options how we can call, but ultimately it is the avoidant one, right? And avoidant one, they are just basically being afraid. Okay, just like anxious, they're afraid to be abandoned and being afraid of being rejected and all that. But these type of people who having avoidant style, they actually are afraid of connection. So they avoid
Mm.
it. Okay, they really want to be in a relationship. I mean, everybody wants to be in a relationship, right? But they also avoid getting close. They avoid showing up for themselves, who they are authentically, because they're afraid they'll be abandoned. Okay,
Mm.
they are avoiding conversations, they are avoiding spending time together. So basically, think about the word avoidant. It's in the core of everything, in the core of the entire behavior. Okay, including including avoiding arguments, including
Mm.
avoiding conversations about compromises and everything else. Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm not really
absolutely.
sure which one is more dangerous, anxious or avoidant, because both of them are quite toxic. I'll be honest with you. They both are quite toxic. And I am thinking about myself. I think I was more avoidant in the past than anxious. I think I was more avoidant in the past because I would avoid connect with my partners. I would avoid arguments or something like that. I would always prefer to kind of make it up and make it all nice and looking amazing rather than having a conversation. It was just scaring me, right? But of course, at the bottom of that is still fear of being hurt, fear of being
Mm.
rejected, fear of being
Mm.
abandoned, right?
Well, that will make you the disorganized
Yes,
attachment, because it
absolutely.
is a combination of both of them, right? So you have the anxious, and you also have, the avoidant, and you put those together, and it's a mess, right? So
Yes.
all that means you are going to be
Yeah.
moved towards, because your need for connection, your need for love will move you towards a partner, only for you to have this pull and push situation. You're gonna feel drawn towards by the love, but also you're going to avoid it. Avoid that intimacy. No matter how much you're craving it, you're going to avoid the intimacy, because you're also going to have fear of it, right? So we
Mm.
notice a lot of people who value freedom so much, right? They value freedom and independence,
Yeah.
right? But they're also, and they crave intimacy, but they're not willing to, really commit, because they're too anxious that they might be left, they might be, abandoned, as you said earlier. So it's very hard to navigate. It's very hard to navigate when we don't have awareness of how that's going to impact us. There is a very unpredictable, what happens with this particular attachment style is that our behavior is quite erratic. So we
Mm.
go hot and cold in a minute. We're inconsistent in how we are showing up in a relationship, and it's quite confusing to the other person. And with that, they will pull back, and the more they pull back, the more anxious you're going to become. So you're going to move towards, and you're going to try to chase, only when you get there to actually move away again, because you just got too close and it's happening too fast, or too soon for you. So what advice do you have, Olga, for those people who have the disorganized attachment?
Well, I would say those who have I will go back to the avoidant because when it comes without being avoidant, very often we attract also anxious attachment style, right? So the more you become independent in relationship, the more you want to be, all within your world. You don't want to share your emotions. You don't want to have conversations. You don't want to have intimacy. The more your partner will be anxious about it, and they will start blaming themselves. What did I
Mm.
do? Like, what did I do that my partner doesn't want to talk to me? What did I do that they don't want to have intimacy with me, right? And it becomes really toxic relationship. So that's why if you find yourself being in avoidant style, what I would like to say is learn how to depend a little bit, okay? Learn, especially for
Mm.
women, learn how to seek help. Men, learn how to open up and share emotions. Also women, right? There's so many women who are in avoidant attachment style who actually are afraid to share themselves. Literally yesterday, I had a
Mm.
client who said to me, I had a conflict with my husband, and I was really afraid to share how I felt. Avoidant,
Mm.
right? Avoidant, straight away avoidant, right? But if you
Yeah.
don't share how you feel, your husband doesn't know how you feel. And if he doesn't know how you feel, he will continue with the behavior because, well, he doesn't know you were upset. He doesn't know you didn't like that. He's not aware what was the reaction. Okay. So whilst
Mm.
you're in your avoidant um, style, you got to really understand that as much as you avoid connecting and sharing yourself with the world, you will end up by yourself, right? Do
Mm.
you really want that? So if you don't want that, if you really want to have a relationship, that's why it's in that terms, it's time to tell yourself, I am safe when I share myself. I am
Mm.
safe to share my emotions. I am safe to be intimate. I am safe to depend on somebody, right? Because what's
Oh,
the worst can happen? What's the worst can happen? Okay, if they go for one reason or another, well, you're a human being, you will adapt again,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
for
have you
sure.
noticed, Christina, how many women right now actually are in this avoidant attachment style? With all this strong feminism movement, more and more of them are going into the avoidant attachment style. I'm strong, independent woman. I don't need you. Well, yeah, but what's the price of that?
That's right. Yeah, and I noticed how people are also, reducing the importance of love and connection in their life just to feed, like just to kind of um, it goes under like I'm focusing on my business, I'm focusing on my kids. But really, it's
Yeah,
just avoidance on facing
yeah,
what's going to come up with being in a relationship all over again. Which is why you
absolutely.
want to do the work to move towards a secure attachment style where you are feeling okay to communicate your needs, you're feeling okay to rely on others and trust as well, and when you feel like you can't trust, opening up and say, hey, I'm losing trust in you. This is how I'm feeling, without wanting to rip their head off, without wanting to, kill them in the process and attack their character. So I think it's, you know, what I want everyone to kind of get from this conversation ultimately is like, listen, there are a lot of tests on online that you can do to find out your attachment style and understand, the root cause. And once you address the root cause, you can totally move towards a better, more secure attachment style. So just because you have it right now, you don't have to stay with it for the rest of your life. You're not stuck with it either. You can actually change it, but you will need to understand the root causes. And obviously, most of the time, it's caused by something that happened to us in our childhood. And we don't have to have a really bad, terrible relationship with our parents. Sometimes you have. I mean, it's just a matter of that they send you to your room. It can
Yeah,
be as
yeah.
basic as they're just too busy with their career. It can be that they didn't know how to hold space for you to express what you wanted to say or to express your feelings, right? Your feelings were dismissed. So it doesn't you don't have to have gone through a lot of trauma in your childhood in order to have one of the attachment styles that we
No.
talk about.
You also can develop them. Let's remember that you also can develop them, right? It also depends on your relationship. So if your previous relationships were with somebody who is anxious, you will eventually learn, you will adapt, just like we adapt the language, the patterns, the dialect to each other and habits around the house and things how we do, we adapt our styles as well. So if you were somebody who was anxious before, and then before you were somebody who was avoidant, you will eventually become this one big toxic ball, right? Combination of both, right? And the same applies to the healthy one, right? So if you're in a healthy spectrum, you're secure, right? In the beginning, if you are with somebody who is an avoidant or who is in actions or who is in the both, like the disorganized one, or avoidant and actions, you can combine them both in terms of name, then it in the beginning it will feel really strange. I'm not sure if you have seen, there's a video online on Facebook where a guy, he's washing dishes and somebody sends him a text message and he's like, oh babe, just check my phone. And she's like, you want me to check your phone? He's like, yeah, check your phone. Who check my phone? Who is texting me? She's like, whatever name, Mary, for example. Mary, she says, if you would like to hang around all together on weekend. I can't remember exactly. And he's like, oh no, just respond her back to say like, we're going to be busy this weekend. And she's like, you want me to respond to her? Right? And that's exactly is reaction of somebody who was avoidant or somebody who was previously very insecure and very anxious about relationships, right? Or combination of both, on the secure attachment style, because everything what is normal seems very abnormal, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
what is secure? Secure is happy, secure is sharing, secure is fulfilling, secure is being connected with your partner, but also feeling complete and happy on
And
their own.
yeah, and feeling okay to talk about what you need and what is happening for you, what you're feeling, right? What are you feeling? Like I'm feeling like I'm losing trust, right? I'm feeling like, this is not going in the direction that I want. This is what I need more. And when does that happen, right? You have to also be okay with taking, a different step to really just become actually uh, strong, feel strong inside of yourself, to actually move away from that relationship, rather than just continue to stay. If you continue to stay in a relationship, it will be something in there, like a wound for yourself, like you might not trust yourself to go forward. You might not have that confidence to think that you can make it through by yourself, or you might simply feel like there's no one else that's going to like you or love you that way, which are all just limiting beliefs. So I'm glad that we touched on this subject. Go out there, do a test, and if you need some questions about the attachment styles, or if you would like to solve some of those childhood wounds, please reach out to Olga or myself. We'll be more than happy to help you. We offer a free call. We have master classes. We have a variety of programs as well to connect with you and show you another way of experiencing relationships.
Absolutely. It's time for you to seriously take care of yourself and your love life. We are approaching the end of 2024. Okay, we're going to have Christmas, we're going to have New Year. And very often people feel very lonely around this time, especially
Mm,
anxious and avoidant. You will start panicking. You will want to be
mm,
with somebody, but at the same time, you'll be avoiding the relationship. You'll be really anxious about starting a brand new relationship. So, in order for you not to feel lonely and alone during this Christmas and New Year time, I know we're months away, but here's the thing: working on yourself takes time. Okay,
mm,
that's why if you're a single person right now and you're thinking, really, I really would love in 2025 to find love of my life, to be with somebody, to be in a healthy, fulfilling, vibrant and beautiful, amazing relationships, then reach out to Cristina. She has absolutely amazing program for single people who are right now in situation where they think, okay, I really would love to step up in my love life, but I don't know how. Okay, I've been with so many
mm.
partners and nothing works out really. Is it them? Is it me? Start working with Cristina. She really is
Thank
amazing. And I can put my hand in my heart and tell you, because I personally use Christina's services and I know how absolutely outstanding she is. Okay,
thank you
so
so
do
much,
not
Olga.
delay. Reach out to Cristina, book a call, and work on yourself and go from whatever style you are right now. Either you are avoidant or you are anxious or maybe you're disorganized. Move with Cristina into secure style. Just move and shift because you can. You're not a tree. You're a human being. You can change, okay?
Thank you so much, Olga. And likewise, if you are in a relationship and you find that you're not yourself anymore, you don't even know who you are anymore. You feel like, everything you do or everything is that you say, it's cascading into conflict. If you feel like it's actually you, not even him or her, right, then reach out to Olga. If you feel like maybe you both of you need to change something about how you're showing up in a relationship, if you feel like you're just butting heads and every time when you try to communicate with each other you are actually moving even more away and the gap gets bigger, that's the time to reach out for help, from Olga. She will guide you to the process. Just remember that if you try to resolve the problem with the same mind that has created, what you're going to do is you're just going to spin your wheels. You do need someone from the outside that's not feeling your feelings, is not having the experience that you are having, so you can be guided, beautifully and gently, towards an outcome that you actually want, just for you and your partner to have the clarity of how to move forward, a path, something concrete that's going to support you actually experience that love and intimacy. So make sure you're booking a call with Olga. Likewise, Olga has helped me. We have a beautiful collaboration between
Mm.
each other, and I know clients of her as well. So you will be on good hands. So make sure you book a call. We have the links. We're gonna have the links in the comments here. Make sure you click on it and have a conversation with her.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Christina. I really appreciate your kind words. And with this, would like to thank you all, regardless where you were joining us in the world. Please do comment below location where you were watching us from. I was joining you today from beautiful Bali. Beautiful Bali. It's absolutely
I
gorgeous
can
here.
see that. I am a little bit tiny jealous. I'm looking at that bed and I'm thinking, like, gosh, can we just sleep for a sec?
Oh, it's amazing here. And seriously, I just wish all of you could come here because this is the best place in the world to come and just work on yourself because it just invites you into this deep spiritual work here. It's just really, really amazing. And one thing I would like to share before we finish off is that remember in the beginning I said like I was quite avoidant when it comes to attachment styles. I did have avoidant attachment style. Then I developed combination of both anxious and avoidant. Again, because of relationships, you do become something as a result when you go through multiple relationships. And actually, when I'm right now here, and somebody whom I'm seeing right now, still early days, still beautiful, but here's the how things and dynamics change. Okay, yeah, dropping the bomb here. um, Before, if I would go all the way to Bali and we would be on totally opposite parts of the world, because right now we have like 7 hours difference. Okay, so when he goes to sleep, this is when I wake up. When I wake up, this is when he goes to sleep. Okay, pretty much like with you with Christina, right? But
Yes.
this is the big, big shift I would like to share with you all. I have never felt so confident, so calm, and so harmonious about my relationship in my life. Even though we have the biggest distance in the world I have ever had with anyone. Okay. But this is a time when actually I feel absolutely calm. I don't have any stress around it. I don't have lack of trust. I don't, even though you know my story, right? I divorced because of the cheating from my husband. Even that did not impact how I feel in this relationship. Okay. I
Mm.
feel absolutely at peace with my relationship because I know what's meant to be will happen. And I know I can be on the other side of the world, he can be all the way there, and we can be fine. I don't get
Mm.
stressed about it, right? I don't try to break up with him, which I would do before because we are so far. So I don't get hurt one by the time I come back, which I know I would do before. Right. And I'm not anxiously thinking, oh, what's happening, what he's doing, especially because of the history. And I just wanted to share this
Yeah.
little example, my personal example, to show that you can change. You really can change. And what happened to you in the past doesn't have to be your future. Even if it was
Mm.
recent, well, for me, it was recent experience of really negative. Well, basically, my trust was completely broken. And yet, even that doesn't impact my brand new relationship because I shifted into secure attachment style. Okay.
Mm.
So if this story doesn't give you inspiration, then I don't know what needs to give you inspiration to reach out to Christina or myself.
I love that. I love that you have shared something so deep and personal. And it really matters for people to understand that it is possible and it's not a fairy tale. And just because you are where you are at right now doesn't mean you can't get somewhere else. Just decide for yourself, how do I want to feel about myself, how do I want to feel about my relationship, how do I want to feel about this other person next to me. And then how do I get there? What are the steps? Do I know them or do I need some help? And when you just really take the time to self reflect, you're gonna notice that it's a lot easier to take a decision. It just sometimes we're just way too busy, isn't with life, to even contemplate. Um, you know, having that insight into who we are now, how we're showing up, where do we want to get as well, like how do we want to feel or think about ourselves. Ultimately, if we have a better relationship with ourselves, we will be able to have a better relationship with others as well. So thank you so much for
100%.
being here. This has been a really long one, but we love to give value and we love to support you. So please comment below what attachment style are you. Do the test, or maybe you already know. And if you are a secure attachment, what you used to be and how did you get there. We love to get to know you and hear more from you as well. We'll see you all next Thursday. Is that right, Olga?
Absolutely. Same time, same place. We'll see you very soon. So we'll look forward to hear from you soon and stay tuned. There'll be more learning to come your way.
Take care. Bye.